Hello, my name is Helen and I'm back on YouTube finally after months and months and months of burnout. This is my September monthly reset where I will be planning my writing and my YouTube projects coming back after burnout. My name is Helen and I am a writer. I'm currently writing a non-fiction book all about creativity and confidence. And I also write my Substack, which is called The Red Fern, on the same issues, creativity, confidence, being online, that sort of thing. And I've also recently started writing on Medium again. This is my monthly reset video where I talk about my writing and creative projects for the month ahead, whilst also acknowledging what's come before, namely the burnout, which has affected me since probably November 2022, but I think it might have happened before that. When I first started planning out my writing and creative projects for September, for some reason, I felt I should just pick up from where I left off last November, and even to pick it up again after all my big issue and something I felt like a failure over, and I had a lot of guilt about, is that I haven't produced much this year. So in my head, I felt like I should come back with a bang to do all the things to mentor lots of clients and to bring my income back up to where it was. Hold on. Soon after we came back from our family holiday, I decided to get everything that I had on my phone, in my journal, in my head, and put it all down on a list. Now, I'll talk about this in detail later on in the video. And this is everything that I expected of myself this autumn. So not only did I feel a flutter of anxiety before I sat down to even write it, because I didn't know if I could extract everything that I had in my head, I felt anxiety and overwhelm once I'd actually finished it. And normally these things ground me. When I do a brainstorm, it normally makes me feel better. This one didn't. This one actually made me feel worse. And I thought to myself, what on earth are you doing? There is no way you can do all of that. And I simply felt, like I said, very, very overwhelmed. But I didn't know what to cut back on. In my head, there was that tug of war between what I felt I should be doing and what I actually wanted to do. My goals were to increase my income to at least where it was, if not more. And the only way I felt I could do this, at least in the short to medium term, was to take on clients and provide one-to-many courses. So by courses, I mean doing masterclass and selling the tickets through Eventbrite, which is what I've done before. I meant bite-sized courses that I did on my Substack, and I had even decided to do some courses or some classes on Skillshare as well. I mean, that's a classic example where I would chase the shiny because I saw somebody else had done it and I thought I should be doing it too. So even on my Substack, a place for me to write about my writing, my online experiences and mindset issues, I was expecting myself to add more and more and more offerings to attract more and more paid subscribers. So what did I do? Well, after creating that list, I took a step back, a big step back. And I've been doing that on and off throughout August anyway, since we've returned from holiday. I've not gone full pelt back into work and writing. I've really taken my time to figure out what it is that I want to do. So that's why I've not been consistently back on Substack yet. I've just been really, really thinking about what it is that I want to do. So in the past, see, I've learned this is growth, because in the past, I used to make immediate decisions and then carry on hurtling forward. And so many times, because of this desire just to crack on, I would end up unpicking everything that I did, and I would often go down the wrong path because I was chasing the shiny. So this time, because of my burnout, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't rush into something. So this time I picked up my phone, picked up my iPad, and I played Candy Crush or Plants vs. Zombies. And I just cut myself off from thinking about it. And do you know what? Playing games on my phone and iPad actually got me through burnout. It got me out of my own head, and it enabled me to stop thinking and to just focus on killing the zombies or crushing the candy. And rather brilliantly, after a particularly brutal game, I think, of Plants vs. Zombies, I went to bed, couldn't sleep for ages. I mean, this may or may not have something to do with playing games at the end of the day, but I think actually what had happened was, in the background, without me realizing it, I was coming up with all the answers. Not all the answers, I haven't got all the answers, but answers to my predicament of this list and all the anxiety that had given me. And I think it was 1 o'clock on a Friday morning when I realised what the answer was. I realised I was chasing all the shiny projects because I did not think my writing was good enough on its own. I'm going to repeat that because oh my God, it was such a big thing. I did not think my writing was good enough on its own. So I wrote about this on my Substack, so do go and check that out if you're interested in how all of that happened. It was such a momentous thing. Seems obvious now, really seems obvious, but I was adding all these different things to my writing business because I didn't think, A, that my writing would earn me an income. I mean, we've all heard these stories, haven't we, about not earning enough as writers. But also, I thought on my Substack that I had to add all these different extra things in order to give value, because I didn't think my writing was enough value on its own. And I really don't understand why I thought that for so long. And it really was like pulling back the curtain, and I'm never going to see it that way again. That the wool has been, what's the saying? It's been, the wool has fallen from my eyes. I can't remember. Anyway, I wrote about it on my Substack. I will leave the link to that below. That is free to read until about mid-September, so go and read it quick. And then after a month of it being live, it goes behind a paywall. So in those early hours, we'll get back to the story now. In those early hours, before I fell asleep, I sent myself a few emails. The first one was I was adding courses, etc., because deep down I didn't think my writing was enough. And the second one, I just said, scrub the bite-sized courses. And when I woke up, it wasn't just the bite-sized courses I decided to scrub, but all of my masterclasses, all of my productivity sessions, because yes, I was going to add them as well once a week, live sessions, Skillshare classes, the mentoring, all of it. And with the mentoring as well, I was even going to put that up a gear and add more extras to what I was offering, because I didn't think what I did already was enough. So I'm scrubbing it all of that. And now I'm just going to concentrate on my writing and my YouTube videos, because both of these activities are the ones that give me the most joy. And I think this is a really great example of the answers coming to you once you stop trying, and I highly recommend it. And I know some people find the answers come to them in the shower or while they're driving. For me, it was after playing a game of Plants vs. Zombies. So once I processed all of this, and again, it just seems so obvious now, but when you're in deep, it's really, really difficult to see it. And I came up with a cleaner, lighter, more manageable number of projects, which I will show you later. So my burnout, I think my burnout was emotional burnout that came with mentoring many women without any support for myself. I didn't have my own mentor or my own coach. And it came from running my membership club. And I think, again, this is all in hindsight, but I think it wasn't just the mentoring and providing things on a daily basis, or 4 days out of 7, I would be live on the membership club. I think it was all the admin stuff that came in the background, and, you know, working out all the payments and refunds if somebody had accidentally paid for the following year or the following month without having meant to. It was all those little bits that, I don't know, I think I just took really, really personally. And yet, here I was planning on creating more courses, more masterclasses, more live sessions, all the things I did within the club, because that's what I thought I should be doing. So when I realized I could just concentrate on my writing and on my videos, the weight lifted off my shoulders. So now I'm going to hand you over to some footage I recorded where I talk about the 4 projects that I'm going to focus on and the tasks that make up each project for the month of September. Obviously, I'm coming back from burnout. I don't want it to all go wrong again. I really don't. So for any of you who were looking forward to the masterclasses, the bite-sized courses, the mentoring, I really do apologise, but I just can't do it. I'm not saying never, just saying right now, I have to do what's best for me. And I really, really enjoy my writing on Substack. And once I get over myself, I enjoy writing my book as well. I will be writing more about my fears with writing my book on my Substack. But I also really enjoy creating videos as well. I've been doing lots of vertical videos that I've been putting on YouTube Shorts. I've also been putting them on TikTok and Instagram Reels as well. But primarily I'm focusing on YouTube because I enjoy it, and I stopped doing it because I got, again, in my head about it, and it became another worry. But hopefully, having taken everything else off my plate, I can just enjoy doing what I'm doing, the writing and the YouTubing, because at the end of the day, both of them is just conveying stories. What I wanted to show you basically was how my brainstorming turned into something a bit more, well, not just pretty, but also a bit more manageable. So it's gone from lots of sort of scribbling down of ideas into something that every month I can look at and think, right, I have to do all of this month. And then when I've done it, or when I'm doing the task in question, I will take the post-it off, I will put it in my planning notebook and for the week ahead, and then I know what it is I'm doing every single day and every single week. So I've just brought my planning notebook over to show you, and this is what I write down every day, the sort of things that I want to achieve that day. And I bring over the post-it notes from my post-it task board and I put it in my planning notebook, so I'm very focused and I can see exactly what it is I'd like to achieve in the week ahead. To get from all of this to that, this is the sheet that made me feel completely and utterly overwhelmed. And what I've essentially done, I'm keeping a lot of it, but I'm taking out the bite-sized courses. I'm taking out where it says tiny steps here and the productivity group. I'm taking out all of this blob here and this blob here. And I'm keeping some certain things on Substack, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. I'm keeping my YouTube, I'm keeping my writing books, and I'm adding on my Medium. The Medium will be the first to go if I get overwhelmed, but also will be mainly repurposed content, and maybe once or twice a month I will do something on there that's a bit different for me, because I want to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and talk about other topics rather than just confidence and creativity. So I turned this one into this one, apologies, I turned it into this one. And as you can see, I've got my Substack, I've got my books, I've got my YouTube, and I've got my Medium. And I said, what does that look like on a weekly basis? Well, I said I do 2 Substacks a week, 1 Medium, 1 YouTube, and write all the books. This is what it looks like on a monthly basis. I don't know if you can understand my scribbles, but basically at the top for September, I want to finish my book proposal and email my first agent on the list, okay? I want to write 8 Substacks, because that's 2 a week, and we're going on roughly 4 weeks in a month. 4 YouTubes at 1 a week, and 4 Mediums at 1 a week. So then I've divided it up into week 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've not put books in week 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I find that a little bit difficult to break up, because I don't always know how long something is going to take me. But these are my deadlines for each week with my Substack, YouTube, and Medium. So in week 1, you can see I've got 2 Substacks, 1 YouTube, and 1 Medium. But what I've now done is say what it is that I want to do specifically for that particular Substack post. This one is going to be a podcast. The first of the month or around then is always our Substack story, which I do with Claire. And I also like to do my monthly summary at the beginning of every month as well. So I know those 2 Substacks in week 1, what they're going to be. In terms of YouTube, I did say I was going to do the plan with me. I'm not going to do that now, because I'm going to do that at the end of the month, so it's already ready for the month ahead, if you know what I mean. So for example, this plan with me video is going to go out at the end of August rather than the first week of September. So instead, in week 1, I will therefore possibly have, I've got here as an idea, book hauls, purchases for my desk/office and that sort of thing. I think, as I really love autumn, and as I really love that back to school feeling, I'm going to do kind of a home sense thing. I've already, sneak peek, got something here that my my son and his girlfriend picked up today from Georgia Asda, and they were very excited and thought it was me to a T, so I thought I could create a video around that. So I think that will be what I do next. And then my medium will be a repurposed article, easy peasy. Week 2, Substack. My essay will either be just a normal essay or it will be based on my non-fiction book of the month. I think it will be a normal essay because I've swapped those two over. Then I've got my Dear Helen column, which is my anonymous mentoring that I thought I might do. Instead of doing one-to-one mentoring, I will do a problem that somebody is having. I don't know. At the moment, I've not had a lot of enthusiasm for this project, so it maybe Helen, you should just listen and realise that people aren't interested in you as a mentor. Who knows? But I'm going to give it a go. We will see. At the very least, it provides me with a little bit of structure. So if I'm struggling as to what to write about, I can think, well, this week I plan to do this anonymous mentoring, and I can have a scroll through some books or through some blogs or wherever and find an issue that somebody's talked about in the past and provide my take on it. It's just a thought that I had anyway. I think one of the hardest things for me with Substack is coming up with the ideas. Sometimes they come thick and fast and it's overwhelming and you just don't know what to do with them. Then other times it can be a bit of a struggle. So just having that there will help me in terms of what to write about next. On my next YouTube, I put down doing a writing notebook video, and yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about my current writing notebook and how I'm getting on with it. Then it says here another repurposed article, again easy peasy. Maybe I'll do a brand new one. It all depends. I can swap those round. In week 3, I've got my story of a book proposal, and this is where I write for my paid subscribers all about my journey writing my book proposal. I try and do that every month, although there has been gaps over the course of this year. I'm not going to mention the burnout word again, but there you go, I've done it. But yes, I'd like to do that consistently, because also it's going to help me actually write the blooming proposal as well. And then here I'm going to write about the non-fiction book of the month, which this month is The Success Myth by Emma Gannon. I thought what I would do is write about pieces within the book that have particularly made an impact on me, pulled those bits out, and then maybe ask some questions of my Substack readers as well. There might be also something as in addition to that for my paid subscribers. So whether I do a video or something like that, I'm not too sure at this stage. I'm going to read the book first, and then I will work out how I want to divide all that up for that week 3 essay. Then on my YouTube, I've got the book club flip through, so that will go together with that. A brand new article on Medium. So we'll see how that goes. Week 4, this is my new idea. I want to write about earning an income online from YouTube, Substack and Medium. It's mainly going to be YouTube and Medium, I think. I want to write about that. I know a lot of people have talked to me about it and how to make some cash. I think the most I made from Medium was about £40 in 1 month. So it's not like I'm earning loads and loads and loads, but obviously every penny counts, particularly at the moment. But also, can I grow that? Is this something that I could do? And then, I don't know. I want to look into it. And then, gosh, I'm getting all the names confused. On YouTube, I would like to talk about my journey with that as well. My journey has been, you know, am I doing YouTube? Am I not? I'm not doing it. I am doing it. I want to talk about that process a little bit more. I want to talk about why I do it and then I stop doing it. I want to talk about my route to monetization as well, because that was a really difficult time. It was during the lockdown. I just want to write about these things. So that is something I thought I'd do on my Substack. that will be for paid subscribers. I will say that now. A lot of it's going to be vulnerable. A lot of it's going to be involving earnings as well. So I would like to put it behind a paywall. Then my second Substack will be the intro to next month's book club pick. And this, for example, what I would like to talk about in the month of October. I've already got September's, I've got October's. I do need to research what to do for November and December. I don't want to be scrabbling around at the last minute. So Helen, while you're editing this, write it down as a to-do. And then my final YouTube of the month will be a plan with me for the following month, and then just one more Medium article. Essentially, I've just taken exactly what I've just said and broken it down. Ignore this column for the moment, but broken it down into the blue, the pink and the orange. So the blue is all my Substacks. So the first thing I've got here is the podcast, and then underneath, write monthly summary. Substack essay number 1, I've already decided what that is going to be. So I've added more detail here than what I had over here. My Dear Helen column. When I've worked out what that will be about, I'll put that on there as well. Story of a book, Substack essay, and I've got the Success Myth, which is the book of the month. Earning income online, intro to October, book of the month. So basically it's everything that I've just said from these two columns going down. And that's everything that I need to do on Substack during the month of September. This is everything that I've already talked about for YouTube that I have to do for the month of September. Now I did do an intro to me. I don't know if I'm going to do that now. I might just go straight into what I said I would do at the end of the month, which was the autumnal inspired stationery haul. That might go up to number 1. See, nothing's set in stone in this way of doing things. I'm not going to hold myself to do exactly what I plan out a month previously. It's flexible, and I think you have to be flexible, otherwise you can really get yourself into a mess. And then I've got the 4 Medium articles that I want to do there as well. So that essentially is how I've gone from brainstorming to a bit more detail for a monthly basis, and then putting it out into these sticky notes, which I then transfer into my planning journal. And then once I finish them in my planning journal, I normally put them in a big double page spread so I can see everything I've done. And I do have an example that I've just found. I think this was last November, just before I had my burnout. So everything that I completed, I put here. Everything that I completed for December, you can see where I said, right, that's it, no more, I've got to stop. So that's all of December. That's all my October tasks completed. And you know what? It feels good when you look back to see what you've completed. And then you know it's not been a wasted month, even though your brain might be telling you that. When your brain is lying to you and saying you've not done anything this month, you can see, oh yes, I've done this, this and this. But also you can see where you've spent your time. So if you haven't got many of these colour ones going on in your completed column, that means, or in your completed pages, that means you've not been writing on your book much, Helen. So I said I'd come back to this one. I had to go through my book proposal and find out everything that I needed to finish to work out what needed to be done there. This column isn't something that came from my brainstorming, it came from actually looking through the proposal. So it's got things like go through the proposal and highlight all the tasks that need to be done. Well, I've done that. There you go. And then it's got things like finish chapter 3, because I'm sending the first 3 chapters with it. That goes inside the proposal. And then I want to edit chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Make sure chapter examples match chapter summaries. That's something that's sort of messing with my head that I need to. I think this is why I procrastinate with it, because things like that really overwhelm my brain, and I struggle with that sort of thing. Do a chapter on rules, and I wrote something in my writing notebook on that on my holiday, so I want to make sure those ideas are incorporated and all that sort of thing. And then in the final one is email agent number 1. So that's all my book tasks for September. And that's pretty much it, really. This will now go on the board behind me, and every day it will be there, and I can take the post-its off at the beginning of the week that I want to work on. I'll put it in here. I'll work out what I want to do for the month ahead. And that will include things like things that I haven't necessarily put on here. So I think I said something earlier that I needed to incorporate into my planning, and I can't remember what it is. So I'll find that out when I go through to edit this. But that's the sort of thing I would add into my monthly look ahead. And also on Monday at the beginning of every week, I plan what I want to do at the beginning of the week. I've got August there, and then I've got what I want to do from the 14th to the 20th there. And then I've not done much over August because the days have been a bit sporadic when I've been working and writing, but from September onwards I'll be more in a routine because it's that back to school feeling. I'm really getting excited about it. So that is me. That is my planning for my writing and creative projects for the month of September. I'll come back next month, tell you how I've got on, see if this new system has worked where I'm not doing so much, and if it hasn't, then I'll need to make some adjustments, and if it has and I'm finding I'm not having enough to do, then I will add. So that's where we are at the moment. Thank you very much for watching.